Beijing, just before sunrise. The heart of the Chinese capital is cloaked in a cool autumn haze. Tiananmen Square, a vast expanse of stone and memory, lies still, yet heavy with anticipation. Soon this silence will give way to thunder, boots striking pavement, engines growling, and the piercing roar of jet on a first. The first light creeps over the rooftops of the Forbidden City, painting the ancient tiles in gold. It is an arresting juxtaposition. The shadows of imperial history cast upon the stage of a modern socialist state. Around the square, the red flags of the People's Republic flutter gently in the breeze. Each carries 5 golden stars, symbols of unity and party leadership. Security is extraordinary. Thousands of police and plainclothes officers form an invisible perimeter. Snipers are positioned on rooftops, eyes fixed through scopes, scanning every corner. Metal detectors hum at every checkpoint. Drones buzz in the sky, not to film, but to watch. Of control over the sky and the unseen digital realm. Crowds begin to gather in the distance, though access is tightly restricted. Ordinary Beijingers catch only fragments, a glimpse through side streets, a moment on giant outdoor screens. For most, the real experience will come through the state broadcaster, CCTV, whose anchors are already rehearsing their solemn lines. Across the country, televisions glow in living rooms, offices, and military bases. In villages far from Beijing, families huddle around sets, pride swelling as they await the spectacle. Inside the Great Hall of the People, dignitaries sip tea as they prepare to take their seats. Generals in immaculate uniforms polish their medals one last time. Senior party officials glance at prepared scripts, though the real performance requires only silence, nods, and applause. And above them all looms the figure at the center of today's ceremony, Xi Jinping. For Xi, this parade is more heavenly peace. Where Mao once proclaimed the founding of the Republic in 1949, Xi will preside, being both continuity and command. Every detail choreographed to reinforce his role as the helm guiding China into its new era. But the square itself is already alive. Formations of soldiers stand in rigid silence, lined in ranks that stretch as far as the eye can see. They do not shift. They do not blink. Trained to endure hours without faltering, they appear almost statuesque, warriors carved into the stone of history. Their uniforms gleam, dark green for the ground force, crisp white for the Navy, deeper tones of the rocket force. Even from a distance, the distinction is clear. The first sound is a drum roll, deep and resonant. A military band makes its opening notes, brass instruments catching the morning light. The melody is martial, confident, unmistakably Chinese. It is the sound of a nation with the sun. And so, the day begins. The clock strikes 8. A ripple of expectation moves across Tiananmen Square. Every camera lens tilts upward toward the Gate of Heavenly Peace, where a balcony draped in crimson silk overlooks the vast expanse. This is the vantage point of power, a place where leaders have proclaimed revolution forward. From behind the heavy wooden doors, the leadership of the Chinese Communist Party emerges. Xi Jinping steps forward, clad in a tailored gray tunic reminiscent of Mao Zedong's era. The choice of attire is deliberate, a fusion of tradition and modernity, projecting continuity with China's revolutionary past while asserting his personal authority. At his side are senior members of the Politburo Standing Committee, each expression solemn, each gesture measured. The crowd erupts in rehearsed applause, yet the sound is amplified by orchestrated enthusiasm from select groups stationed strategically near the reviewing stands. For television audiences, the effect is ears united in reverence. Xi raises his hand in greeting. He does not smile widely. He never does on occasions like this. Instead, his expression is composed, authoritative, and immovable. Behind him, a row of generals, the commanders of China's modernized People's Liberation Army, stand rigid, their uniforms adorned with stars, ribbons, and golden braids. They are the executors of the vision Xi proclaims, a world-class military by 2049, the centenary of the People's Republic. The anthem begins. Brass surges, drums resound, and voices rise in the familiar refrain. As the national flag ascends the pole, every soldier snaps to attention, saluting with mechanical precision. The 5-starred banner climbs steadily into the Beijing sky, each inch symbolizing the rise of a nation that, within living memory, endured. The parade tells them that their sacrifices, long working hours, years of economic reform, military service, have yielded fruit. Pride swells, nationalism deepens. For the younger generation, the images of female soldiers, ethnic minority units, and cyber warriors speak to inclusivity and modernity. For older generations, the sight of honor banners recalls sacrifice and hardship. For everyone, the message is clear. This is not the China of weakness and humiliation, but the China of resurgence. For Xi Jinping, the parade is also deeply personal. Xi is positioned not just as a leader, but as the culmination of history. Mao founded, Deng reformed, Jiang modernized, Hu stabilized, Xi rejuvenates. His image atop the Gate of Heavenly Peace is broadcast alongside Mao's from 1949, cementing continuity. By presiding over the most technologically advanced parade in Chinese history, Xi places himself at the center of both military modernization and national destiny. It is propaganda, yes, but it is also power, woven into ritual. For rivals and allies abroad internationally, the parade serves as both warning and invitation. Rivals see missiles that can sink carriers, drones that can swarm bases, and cyber units that can blind communications. Allies see the projection of a partner that is growing stronger, a counterweight to Western dominance. Neutral observers in the global South see a model of national pride and independence. The message is layered, but unmistakable. China is no longer just participating in the international order. It is shaping it. The symbolism of the parade. Every parade tells a story, and this one told several at once. Past, honoring the sacrifices that built the PLA. Present, displaying cutting-edge weapons and disciplined troops. Future, projecting a vision of 2049, the Great Rejuvenation fulfilled. Weapons on wheels are less important than the ideas they carry. The parade was less about immediate warfighting and more about signaling to citizens, to rivals, to allies, to history itself. The lingering question. Yet, amid the pride and spectacle, one question lingers in the minds of those watching from Washington, Tokyo, or Taipei. Is this parade a shield or a sword? For Beijing, it is meant as deterrence, a way to prevent war by showing strength. But deterrence is a fragile balance. The same displays that reassure one audience may provoke another. The amphibious vehicles rolling past Tiananmen may instill unity in Beijing, but unease in Taipei. The cyber and space units may inspire pride in Shenzhen, but fear in Washington. The parade ends, but the strategic contest it reflects does not. As the screens go dark and Tiananmen Square returns to its normal expanse of stone and silence, the meaning of the parade remains alive. In memory, in analysis, in the shifting calculations of leaders and citizens alike. It was a performance, yes,